What's up, everybody? Man, you guys are gonna love today's episode. There's everything you like: huge hands, big coolers, playing 5-10 no limit hold'em, and as that's not enough already, we end up playing with the legend. We played the biggest spot of the night versus Andrew. Poker is a sick game, and watch this episode until the end because you won't regret it. We buy in for 1500, which is the max at the 5-10 at Bellagio. The first relevant hand, I'm in the hijack with ace-10 suited, one limper before me. I raise to 45 in position, button, big blind, and limper call. We go 4 ways to the flop, and we flop the nut flush. This is how we're gonna start today's session, guys. They check to me, I'm the third one to act, and I decided to check this street, maybe allow button to bet as well, which is not what happens. Button checks back, the turn is a 7 of spades. They check to me again, and now I'm not gonna check back, I'm gonna bet for value. I decide to bet $70. I feel pretty safe in this board, and I just wanna extract value from the most amount of hands I can. Only under the gun +1 calls. We go heads up to the river, which comes another 4. Hopefully he has a good club to call my bet. He checks to me, and now I decide to bet $260, around 80% of the pot. He folds and we win the first hand. We get our seat in the regular table. I already play against most of the people in this table, and it is not the softest one. First hand, I see Jack-10 suited from the small blind. Under the gun straddles 20. It folds to me, and I'm gonna open raise from the small blind. I decide to make 75. Only straddler calls. We go heads up to the flop, which comes ace-5 deuce rainbow with 1 spades. I definitely have range advantage here, so that allows me to see bet pretty often, and that's what I do. I see bet 85 around half pot. He folds and we win the hand. I find a great table to table change, and that's where I'm going. I definitely try to apply table selection in my strategy, and even if you're the best player in the world, you should be thoughtful about who you're playing against, because in the end, poker is a zero-sum game. So for you to win, somebody else has to lose. So being strategic about who are you playing against definitely makes sense. Of course, you don't want to be table changing all the time, but sometimes it makes a lot of sense to try to table change to a table that you feel you have a bigger edge over that table. First hand in this table, I'm on the button with 9-8 suited, 1 limper before me. I raised to 30. I didn't see the limper this hand, that's why I raised to 30. Otherwise, I would make it most likely $45 in position. Big blind and limper call. We go 3 ways to the flop, which comes a great one. 9-5 deuce with 2 hearts. We hit top pair. They check to me, and I'm gonna see bet here. I see bet 45, little less than half pot. They both call. Turn comes a queen. Now there is a relevant chance I'm losing here. So when they check to me, I decide to check back in position. River is another overcard to my 9, a jack of spades. They check to me again, and I decide to check back. My 9s are good, and we win this hand. The exact next hand, I'm in the cutoff with king queen offsuit, 1 limper before me. Low jack raises to $40. If I'm gonna join this hand, I'm gonna join by 3 betting, and king queen offsuit is definitely under my 3 betting range. So I 3 bet to 130. Low jack quickly 4 bets to 390, and I just snap fold. Next hand, I'm on the button again with 10-9 off. It folds to me, and I open raise to 30 from the button. Only big blind call. We go heads up to the flop, which comes queen 8-4, all spades. I got a gut shot, a 10 high flush draw. When he checks to me, I'm definitely gonna see bet. I see bet $30, and he calls. The turn is a 9 of spades, and I have the 10 of spades. We got a flush, but when he checks to me, I don't see much value into betting. I mean, he could have a 7, a 6, a 5 of spades, okay, but many times when I bet, I'm gonna put some pressure, and I'm gonna make most of the hands he called to be sometimes ace of spades, king of spades, jack of spades, that he's not gonna have so often. But I rather checking back and allow his bluffs to bluff instead of betting for value versus hands that sometimes will call me with a better hand than mine. So I decide to check in position here. The river is a 3 of hearts, and now big blind leads $110. I'm gonna follow the plan and call. He says I'm good, and I decide to be polite to him and just show my hand. He mugs his, and we win this hand. Next hand, I see ace queen offsuit from the hijack. Middle position raises to 30. I 3 bet to $100. Again, from those spots, I either gonna 3 bet or fold. I have no calling range here, unless it's a really rare spot that would make sense to call, which is not the case. Only middle position calls. We go heads up to the flop, which comes 8, 9, 10 with 2 hearts. I have the ace of hearts. This flop is not so good for my range, so when he checks to me, I decide to check back and control the pot. Turn is an ace of spades. Now I got top pair with a decent kicker. He leads out to $70, and I don't see any better option than calling here, so that's what I do. I call. River is a 4 of clubs. He checks to me. Instead of betting for value, I decide to check back. He shows jack 5 of hearts. He was huge in that flop. Thankfully, I didn't see bet, and we win the hand. The player that was in front of me was feeling bad about my camera in his direction, so I I changed seats so he wouldn't be in the direction of the camera. The first relevant hand in this seat, I see King 6 suited from the low jack. I open the raise to 30, cut off and big blind call. We go 3 ways to the flop, which comes a pretty dry one, 4-4 deuce rainbow. Most likely this flop didn't hit none of us, but some of them could have a pocket pair already, including me. My range out of all the ranges in this table is the strongest one, open raises from the low jack. We all decide to check. River is great for my range and for my hands. Now I got nut flush draw and there are many aces in my range as well, so now I'm gonna bet. I bet $70, little more than 80% of the pot. Only big blind calls. We go heads up to the river, which is one of the best cards in the deck, 10 of clubs. I have the best possible flush. He checks to me and I'm gonna bet for value. In situations like that, I usually try to make the sizing that I'm gonna get called more often by the most amount of hands that he has in his range. So in this particular moment, I decided this sizing was $110, around half pot. He calls, I show the bad news, and we win this hand. Unfortunately, the player that was bothered by my camera didn't get any better when I changed seats. He really asked me to stop recording, so because of that, I decided to table change again. First relevant hand in this new table, I'm on the button with ace deuce suited, cut off raises to 30. On the button, I could call more often than on other positions, but still, I rather 3-bet in position and be in control of the hands, so that's what I do. I 3-bet to $100. He quickly 4-bets to $300. I really thought about calling here, but there are definitely better hands for me to do so I decided to be patient and let the hand go. And now I got a table change again, but for a better reason. I'm playing versus Andrew Neeme, ladies and gentlemen, playing against the legend. I'm gonna be honest to you, I'm not the type of guy who likes to be flattering others, but I definitely like to tell people what they deserve to hear. When I started a poker vlog, Andrew Neeme was definitely someone that I look up to, and Andrew Neeme deserved respect from all of us who like poker vlogs and who make poker vlogs. He was one of the first one who did that, and he's really a real poker vlogger, a real poker player. I played with him and you're gonna be able to see hands that he's a great player, he's a respectful player, and I assure you, you're gonna love the hands because the hands are gonna be insane, especially the hands I play versus him that are gonna be more than one. And I'm gonna stop saying things and let's play poker. First relevant hand in this table, I see Jack 8 suited from the button, Andrew straddles to 20, middle position limps. Middle position was this woman and she looked like a recreational player, really nice and polite by the way. I decided to raise to $100 in position. Then a guy from the small blind named Boston Jimmy decides to 3-bet to $500. It falls back to me and there's nothing I can do here besides folding, and when I folded, Boston Jimmy shows Jack 6 suited, so he 3-betted to 500 with Jack 6 suited. Okay, that's definitely not an optimal play. I don't know much about the game of this guy. All I know for now is this play. He plays many live streams as well, and this hand was pretty interesting in my opinion, so that's what I put it here. Now prepare yourselves because that's definitely the most interesting hand of the episode. I see ace 10 offsuit from the button, Andrew straddles to 20, it falls to me and I open the raise to $50. Only Andrew calls. We go heads up to the flop, which is when I hit top pair, top kicker. Andrew checks, and of course I'm gonna c-bet here to $40. He calls. Turn is the best card in the deck, and you'll understand better why soon. Andrew checks. Effective stack is pretty deep, and I want to extract maximum value from Andrew. I should be really thoughtful about what sizing I want to make, and in this situation, I decided to do a pretty much pot-sized bet to $170. Andrew quickly calls, which is great. Hopefully no flush comes in the river, but actually happens something better. You want to know why? Because the ace of spades comes in the river. So now I have the nuts, and hopefully Andrew has a great hand so I can extract value from him. He checks for the third time. Effective stack is 1700. I decide to bet $440, around 80% of the pot, and now Andrew goes to the tank. At this moment, it was honestly looking like he was gonna say all in, and I was thinking, please go all in, please go all in, please go all in. And after about 40 seconds,
right now it's 96.
Call. Yeah. I got the nuts.
This guy. Oh no.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow. I snap call. I tell him I have the nuts. He says he has the third nuts to show what a beast he is to realize that so fast. And just like that, we win a $3,900 pot from one of the biggest vloggers in the world, a guy that definitely deserves our respect, and sometimes poker gives us a gift like that. And all I can do is be grateful, but at the moment, I was pretty shocked on what happened. I even showed that on my Instagram. Like, I really wasn't thinking this would happen today. I came for a normal 5-10 session at Bellagio, and in the end, I just win a pretty sizable pot versus Andrew Neeme. Sick, so sick. Winning little more than $2,300 so far, and we're still gonna play many hands in this table versus Andrew especially. Next hand, I'm in the under the gun with ace king offsuit. I open raise to 30, player in the cutoff, 3 bets to $100. It folds back to me, and of course I'm gonna 4 bet here. Effective stack is really deep, around $3,000 or more, and I decide to 4 bet to $300. I felt I had a lot of edge over that guy post flop, so that's why I didn't make it so big. He calls and we go heads up to a flop that I missed it completely. Queen 6-5, all diamonds, and I have no diamond in my hand. In situations like that, it would be a crime to c-bet, because I would most likely make hands worse than mine to fold and hands better than mine to call. So here's a clear check, and that's what I do. I check. He bets pretty big to $400, and nothing I can do here is besides folding. You guys already know what this sign means. The table is pretty crazy. Many people playing way more hands than they should. People that don't know how to make the right sizing. And honestly, the best players at this table was me and Andrew. Don't you guys ever think that Andrew is not a great player. This guy is solid, and you're gonna be able to see this in the next hands. I go to seat 2 of this same table because I wanted to get a better table footage of the table. Andrew is right there. First hand in this new seat, I get jack 10 offsuit from the button. Woman in the under the gun straddles to 20. I open raise to $60. Andrew and straddle the call. We go 3 ways to the flop, which comes king 5-3, 2 hearts. They check to me, and I decide to keep betting here. I see bet 1/3, $65. Only Andrew calls. We go heads up to the turn, which comes an ace. Here, I could definitely keep betting. The ace is way better for my range than for his, but at the moment, I felt that Andrew would call at least one more here, or even check raise. So when he checks to me, instead of betting, I decide to check back and realize my equity if a queen comes, or even a jack or a 10, which is not what happens. It comes a 9 of diamonds. Andrew checks, and right now, I have most likely one of the worst combos in my range. Jack high. I believe an even better bluff would be something like 6-7 suited or 7-8 suited, but then jack offsuit is definitely a good bluffing candidate. So when Andrew checks to me, I decide to bluff here, and I don't even have to make it that big. I decide to make it 240. Andrew thinks for a long time, but in the end decides to fold, and we win this hand. We're playing pretty short-handed now. There are 4 people in our table, and most likely the game is gonna break soon. Next hand, I see ace-6 suited from the small blind. It folds to me, and I raise to $40. Andrew calls, and we go heads up to the flop, which comes queen 5-3 rainbow. That's a pretty dry flop that most likely both of us missed, so I decided to keep betting. I bet 55, around 75% of the pot, and Andrew calls. Turn is an ace, again an ace of the turn, which is better for my range. So here, with my particular hand, I decided to keep betting, and I don't need it to make it that big. I bet $120, little more than half pot. Unfortunately, Andrew calls. River is a queen of diamonds. I decide to give up and check, and Andrew goes to the tank. He decides to bet 300, and I snap fold. Andrew showed to be really kind the whole way. Out of nowhere, a subscriber of the vlog came to talk to me, and it was a pretty special moment, like me playing against a guy that I always looked up to, and at the same time a subscriber from the channel comes to talk to me and says so many great things. Like, the guy that came to talk to me really said he loves my work and etc, and I really appreciate all the kind messages and kind people that come to me and tell me to keep doing what I do. You guys have no idea how important this is for a content creator, like, to really be able to know that he's really making an impact on other people's lives. In the end, that's why I do what I do. I do because I want to have some purpose in what I'm doing, and when I see a guy like that coming to talk to me and being helpful and even taking a picture for me with me and Andrew, that really shows me I'm in the right path. And whenever you see me around, don't hesitate in come talking to me and say whatever you want. There are many great videos in this channel that I'm confident you guys are gonna like it. Feel free to choose any of those that are showing up in the screen. Also, if you like this content, make sure to share to a friend of yours who might be helped by my channel. The mission of this channel is helping you become a better poker player, and see you next time.